Hey, so I did a couple videos earlier that I did publicly, where I broke down pretty much what I was expecting, and I said that at least off of this bottom here, as soon as we started bouncing, I did a video where I said we're going to get a minimum of 2, 3, probably 3 to 4 hours, maybe 5, 6, or 7 hours of greens where we can just take a breath and catch our breath right on the way down. Then we'll see what's going on next. We'll see if we can get back above 3,800. Go back and watch that video. I mean, we hit almost exactly, pretty close to exactly 3,800. I mean, we ended up going up to a high of 37,654. And I said if we break 3,800 on this move up, then there's a good chance we can actually continue upwards after a small dip. But the hourly stoke, see how the stoke down here on the bottom is getting really high? So you'll notice we have this pattern where the stoke goes from bottom to top and bottom to top. So those who are familiar with my stoke model, the price action follows very, 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 very closely the stochastic oscillator when you have it configured properly and when it's locked in, when it's in one of those repeatable patterns. Right now, it is in a very accurate, repeatable pattern. So we're maxing out and it looks like we're starting to turn down. So we're going to get a dip now. The question is, do we get a big dip or a small dip? I'm still thinking it's probably going to be a small dip, but since I predicted this bounce so perfectly, I told my private trading group that we were getting in at the bottom. So right when we bounced, I said, all right, I just added to all of my existing newer bags. I got some bags on the way down on this dump, and now I just got some more all the way at the bottom. So I'm actually up with a little bit of profit on the portion that I bought down at the bottom. So what I'm about to post to the group, I'm going to post it as soon as I finish recording this video in a second before I post this video on YouTube so they know right away so they can adjust their trades accordingly. I'm actually selling a portion of those positions. So I opened maybe 8 positions and I just added all 8. I just doubled down on all 8 positions at the bottom of this dump when we first started bouncing up, that original bounce up. I started expanding those positions. Since I'm up a nice profit on those trades already because everything bounced along with BTC, it worked out well because now I can close out that smaller portion of that position and take that small profit. And that way I have a little bit of a cushion, right? So if we dump down further and then I start to lose money on the rest of my open positions, I have a nice profit on the day. So I'm break even on the day. I'm not actually taking a loss on the day, even if we're making big dumps, or at least I'm not taking as big of a loss. If we were to make a big dump, for instance, I might still be down a little bit on the day, but I'll be down very little because I'm taking some of that profit off the bounce. So I'm doing that strategically. I probably should just hold it because my market analysis is telling me that we're done going down and we're going to continue upward, but I'm trying to be careful. So instead, since we didn't break that 3,800 level that I very specifically mentioned in my last video, which was one of the YouTube shorts that I did, um, since we didn't break that level, oh, baby's moving. Since we didn't break that level, I'm taking that small profit now, and then if we make another push up after a small dip, I'll get right back in and I'll get in much bigger. So if we get a small dip here, small dip, and then start pushing up again, and the stoke right here reverses quickly, comes down and starts turning up again, or it comes down halfway and it starts to turn up again, I'm going to get in much bigger. That's my strategy as of right now, because if that happens, we're probably going to continue upward pretty aggressively and get a nice solid recovery run going, pushing all the way back up into the 40,000 range, above 40K. That's going to happen tonight if we get over the next 2, 3 hours, a small dip, and then start to push up very quickly. We're going to push through 40K. That's what we want to watch for. If we dump over the next 3 or 4 hourly candles and erase this entire bounce, then we're probably in trouble and we might be seeing a little bit of a dip further down below the bottom of this dip here. I still don't think we're going to go down below this overall level. And one of the other key things to look for, if you look at what I tweeted out, I did an analysis where I compared this big dump, the 60% dump, to what we had in March of 2020. It's almost identical. That's why I was able to draw this orange line. See this orange line, the bounce up, dip down, next level up, next push up? I drew that as soon as we bottomed out on the left here. As soon as we had the big dump and started climbing back up, I drew that out for my private group, and I told them this is exactly how I expected to recover based on my analysis of the last time we had similar market behavior like this. And that's exactly what I had expected. Back then, we actually had a trend line between the first 2 points of contact, and then on the next dip, it held exactly at that trend line. So we could see a dip here, come down to this trend line, and then bounce, and then get a really aggressive bullish recovery move straight up into the 40,000 range. So that's one of the things I'm potentially looking for. Pay attention to this trend line right there and the continuation after the first 2 points of contact. I think we might get a third point of contact pretty soon. And if so, we should launch off of that. If we do break below that, we're definitely going to dump further. All right, let me go deal with the baby. Thanks, guys. I'll do another update later.